Hi guys, how are you? I wanted to come on and just do, again, we have to capitalize on this sale this month. Just a second, let me put this a couple of places. Okay. We're good. Okay. Hi Kelly, how are you? All right, so I wanted to do just like a really pretty sort of fall look. I was feeling inspired. I was out doing yard work today and it was actually gorgeous out here in New York. So I figured like I can only ignore the fact that fall is coming for so long. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is start with a little hydrating primer. That's the first step. No matter what you're doing, start with your primer. It is available in the Flawless 4 Kudos this month, which is an amazing deal for $99. You get a full skin foundation look. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Melissa. So I'm just rubbing that primer into my skin and we're going to let it sit for a couple of minutes so that it's fully like dried and ready to go. That's the deal with primer, is that you want to make sure that it's nice and dry on your skin before you go in and start applying your next step. So this is the hydrating primer. You can get the regular primer in our bundle this month as well. All right, let's just take out what we're going to use and get started. Okay. All right. So when you touch your face and you don't feel like the silkiness of the primer anymore, then you know that you're good to go. I'm going to use the foundation, the spray foundation again today, just because I've really been loving it and I feel like any opportunity to demonstrate how good it is. I actually watched a YouTube the other day of a girl who was comparing this with the Dior spray foundation, and she actually needed a lot more of the Dior spray foundation to get coverage on her skin, and she gave this a higher grade than the Dior, which was double the price. So this is essentially free in this month's Kudos bundle, so I really encourage you guys to give it a try. We have a 14-day love it guarantee on everything that we sell, so it's really like completely risk-free. All right, if you don't have a Kabuki brush, get one, get a decent one. Don't get a junk one from Amazon, please. They are not worth the $10 you'll spend on them. And what we're going to do, this is the preferred method of applying the spray foundation. I'm using the shade Lace today, and I just spray the foundation on my brush. And we're going to go ahead and buff it right in. So this coverage is unreal, but the best part about it is that you literally do not feel it on your skin ever. It is just literally weightless. Think about it, if you were to spray paint a wall or a door, you're going to see that that coverage is like 10 times faster to dry than if you were to get a paintbrush out and paint it. And the same it goes for this foundation. It's literally just coverage. Like there's no, it doesn't feel like product. All right, I'm gonna spray it again and do my forehead and my nose. So we're gonna go just with like a very pretty sort of fall drama look today. Hi Hayden, how are you? Will said you were not feeling good today. Literally living for this foundation, which is why you've seen me use it all the time. Hi. All right, so spray foundation is on, and literally it just feels like a second skin. It does not feel like there's anything on your face whatsoever. All right, I'm going to go in with my Scarlet concealer, and we're going to do a little highlighting underneath our eyes. I think I'm ready for my next concealer. As you can see, I cut the top off. We're optimizing like all of the product at this point. All right, so I just put this on the end of a Splurge cream shadow brush because I want to put as little product on my face as possible. And the way that I do that is not over applying it. So a little goes a very long way. And if I use the Splurge brush, I'm actually less likely to over apply it, which is why I do that. I also don't like wasting product. All right. chin, nose, right down the center, and then forehead. Okay. So this is step 3 in the Flawless 4. You get a foundation, a concealer, primer, and a setting product for $99. So if you're wondering what the Flawless 4 is, those are the products that they come in. And I'm just going to take a damp Eco Tools sponge. I just washed this out with hot water and hand soap. And I'm just going to bounce this very lightly over the concealed areas to blend it in. And it just melts right into your under eye. Okay. Especially with your under eye, you want to make sure that you're not putting too much product there. The deal with under eyes is that is the thinnest skin on your whole face. And you want to make sure that you're not putting too much heavy product there, because that's when you're going to notice fine lines and creasing and all that stuff. And like, those are the worst kind of F words. Give me all the F words except for fine lines, please. Dylan came up and shook my ring light earlier. Now it's not sitting properly. Darn kids. Hi, Kristen. Okay, so blending. I'm just going to blend it right over my eyelid because I'm doing just a very pretty, simple, neutral eye look today. And I want to make sure that they're nice and clean. Okay, so there we have all of the highlight just sitting perfectly where it should. Hi, Colleen. And there you go. I am going to go in with a little Touch Behold setting powder, and I'm just going to dust this over every area that I concealed. This is going to keep your makeup in place all day long. So it's a translucent powder. You do not need to be color matched for it. And what it does is it sets your liquid and cream foundations so that they don't move and they stay perfectly in place. No amount of body heat, moisture, anything like that is going to disrupt them. So especially for your under eye, go ahead and take some. I use the brush as opposed to packing it on with a sponge though, because less is more on your under eye, and you can over apply this. That whole concept of baking, that's what you would do with this. But if you have fine lines and wrinkles, baking just means you're going to see those fine lines and wrinkles that much faster. So no thank you. No thank you to the baking. All right, let's go in with pressed powder in the shade Chenille, and I'm going to contour with that. So obviously this is quite a bit darker than my complexion is. I use the shade Lace to do my foundation, and this shade Chenille is a good 6 shades darker than my foundation. But that's why it makes for a beautiful contour powder. So just starting at the top of my ear and blending down towards the corner of my mouth. The thing with contour is you don't want to go too high up. You want to keep this area nice and clean, and you want to keep this area nice and clean. However, I'll show you a little trick. If you get a little bit like too fluffy with your brush, it's easy enough to clean it up. Okay, and then I'm going to do my forehead and my jawline really quick. And just kind of warming up that area. The deal with your face is, I have a very round face shape, and I like to contour it so that it looks a little longer and leaner. So I make the shape of my face change by highlighting the center of it and contouring the outside of it. And it just sort of makes it look like thinner. All right, jawline. Right. The jawline contour is literally where it's at. And it's just about blending it in nicely. Where's my powder concealer brush? I'm going to grab a little bit of that contour powder and just go right along the sides of my nose just to kind of contour my nose in a pinch. Hi, Gemma. Hi, Faith. All right. So free tip, take a big fluffy powder brush and blend your contour in so that it doesn't look like it just comes out of nowhere. You will be so glad that you did. It's going to give you that natural look as opposed to looking like super sculpted. We don't want to be robots. Well, welcome, Faith. Thank you for being here. I'm going to grab a little bit of blush in the shade Seductive, which is one of my favorites for fall, just because it's like very rosy and romantic. One dip into the blush is as much as you need to do your entire cheek. You know, gone are the days where you have to just keep digging in that palette to get product out. These are really hyperpigmented and you don't need much. And again, just take a big fluffy powder brush and make sure that that's a nice soft blush as opposed to being really, really blushy. Just, it's like that whole thing. I want to say it was Anna Wintour said, when you leave the house every day, take one thing off. Like you put a little bit too much on. I feel like the same sort of goes for makeup. Just make sure it's well blended and you'll be looking great. All right, so I'm going to go in with my brow palette. This is the Brow Obsession palette in the shade Brunette, and the original brow artist brush. So there is an angled side and a flat side. I don't typically use the flat side, only to clean things up, to be honest with you. But, you know, it does a great job of cleaning things up. So I'm just going to go in with the brow powder in the dark shade right here. What I like about the palette is that I'm able to use two different colors to sort of taper my brows in and make them look very natural. I don't like using one shade for anything. Even when I use our eyebrow pencils, I still use the dark and the medium shades so that I have a little variation on my brows. Hi, Kristen. All right, so I'm going to start at the front of my brow and draw a line from the front all the way to the end of the tail. Hi, Lindsay. And then I'm going to draw a line on the top, going to the arch and then down to the tail. What this does is it defines the area that I'm going to stay in when I fill my brows in, so I know exactly where I'm going. And if at any point my brow looks too big, too short, too long, I can really kind of adjust it before I go full throttle and fill it in. But I'm going to grab a little more of that dark powder and fill in the arch to the tail. And then using what I have left on the brush and on my brow already, I'm just going to gently fill in a little bit at a time moving forward, because the whole name of the game is to make the entry point of your brow very soft and like natural looking. Okay. Now, where is my spoolie? Here it is. Okay, so we have another brush called the spoolie brush. So it's got an angled side and a spoolie side. And I like to take the spoolie. I already had one, which is why I have the original brush. And I just like to comb it in. And it makes it sort of just like perfectly believable. It softens it just enough that you don't have an issue where it's like, wow, that's an aggressive eyebrow. It just kind of softens it just enough for you. So that's one and done brow. And then I'm going to go and add the second. Now, I didn't use any of the eyebrow wax tonight just because I'm going to do a little bit of a darker lip. And I didn't want to go too far one way where it's like eyes, lips, cheeks. Like you just have to kind of pick one thing and go with it. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Gretchen. Hi, Rachel. So I'm going to go with a little bit of like a more burgundy lip tonight. So everything else is going to try to do its best to stay in its lane. All right, so again, just with dark powder. And I'm going to draw the front to the back. And I just use like very light, short strokes. So when I go, hi, Michael. When I go like from front to back, sometimes you can just get like a little bit over aggressive on there. So we don't want to do that. All right, the top line. And fill in the arch to the tail. And then we're just going to blend in the rest of our brow a little bit at a time. And I made the worst mistake. When I first got this, I'm like, oh, I have a brush that sort of looks like that. And I tried to limp along with this angled brush. It does not have the stiffness that this brush has. This brush literally makes the palette solid gold. So if you got the palette and you don't have the brush, you got to get the brush. It's amazing. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my spoolie and brush everything together so it's nice and soft and subtle. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do a very soft eye look tonight using 3 favorite colors. I'm going to use Astute, I'm going to use Witty, and then I'm going to finish with Relaxed because it looks exactly like this blush shirt that I have on. And I just like this because it's a gorgeous metallic rose pink, and it just looks really nice to sort of make your eye pop. And these are just gorgeous shades for fall without getting too dark. So I'm going to start with Astute, which is one of my favorite like blending transition colors. And I'm going to go in with my unique fluffy blending brush. And I'm just going to kind of pop this into the crease and up into my brow bone. It's just a very gorgeous, soft, neutral color. You can't go wrong with it. You could just stop there, but we won't. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my unique fluffy crease brush, which that is not it. Here it is. All right, unique fluffy crease brush is sort of like the unique blending brush, except that it comes to a little bit more of a point. And I'm going to grab the shade Witty, which is like a very light peachy pumpkin color. And I'm just going to blend this right into the crease of my eye and into the corner, just to sort of make it a little bit deeper and add like sort of that orangey pumpkin tone. Truthfully, what I'm doing is practicing because on Saturday I'm doing my girlfriend's makeup for a photo shoot for her family and I want it to be perfect. I love it when you mix the brown with the blues. Never would have thought of doing this, but it looks beautiful. Thank you. I love playing with eyeshadow colors. Like it's probably one of my favorite things. But I like to kind of see what happens when you do certain things. I'm going to take a little bit of that Witty and I'm just going to put it on my lower lash line. Just like that. Sort of an orange smoky eye, if you will. But notice that I do not have any fallout because these are hyperpigmented. There's not a lot of junk in it. It's just a lot of pigment. So you don't need a lot of color to do your eye. You just need a little bit of like patience to blend it. All right, so last is this gorgeous shade Relaxed, which is like a metallic rose pink. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my fingertip. And I'm going to place it on my eye. The heat from your body actually helps blend it out. Just like that. And it's just going to brighten up your eye just a touch. So again, Relaxed right on my lid. Oh my gosh, I remember being in middle school and making sure I always had a metallic highlight right underneath my eyebrow. Ooh, such a misstep. Like I said, I'm going to do more of a darker lip, so I don't want my eyes to go wild. So I'm not going to line them or anything. I'm going to go in with Lash Primer right now. So this is our Moodstruck Conditioning Lash Primer. And I'm going to do a nice solid coat of this on both lashes, and then obviously 4D mascara. So the conditioning lash primer is supposed to strengthen your lashes while you wear it. And I have like a full-on mission to grow really long, luxurious lashes. So I'm all about this primer. Plus it gives your mascara like a little bit of a base to start with. So your mascara looks more thrilling at the end. Okay. All right, so now 4D mascara for the win. This is the best thing ever. If you're looking for a great mascara, if you have a thing for big, juicy lashes, grab a 4D mascara. You will not be sorry. You do need to make sure that you twirl your lash wand because there are 365 degrees of goodness on this lash wand, and you want to make sure that every single one of them is making contact with your lashes. Some of the wand bristles are meant to separate, some are meant to apply the fibers, some of them are meant to make them really long. So that's just one coat with primer. It's amazing. And go slow, like there's zero reason to rush through it. Okay. And then coat number 2, magic happens with coat number 2. Okay, and then we're just going to use what I have left on the wand to do my lower lashes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to tell that I had any because they are super blonde. Here's how you know how long your lashes get. My lash actually touched up here. Now I have to clean it up. Okay. Brows done. All right, so let's see. Now we have to go in with highlighter. But I think before I do that, I'm going to add just a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to use the shade Hermosa because I want a little bit of warmth in my look tonight. So I'm going to grab just a powder brush, wherever that may be. And I'm going to use a little bit of bronzer in the shade Hermosa. And just bring a little of that glow. Our bronzers are a baked bronzer, so they're half matte and half shimmer. And sometimes you just need that extra little bit of warmth back in your skin, especially in the winter. All right, perfect. All right, so now we're gonna go in with highlighter. I'm gonna use the shade Iridescent, which is one of my favorites. It's this gorgeous prismatic white. And I'm going to put it right here on my cheekbone. And it just gives you that little bit of like subtle glow. Your makeup looks flawless. Your skin looks really glowy and dewy and perfect. I'm going to put a little on the inside corner of my eye. And right on my Cupid's bow. All right, so the lip that I have been talking about, I'm actually going to use a lipstick tonight. This shade is called Affluent. It's one of my favorites. It's slightly darker than I normally wear. It's like a very rosy color, but I'm going to do this first, and then I'm going to go in with a liner. So usually I do it the other way around. So lipstick is the only thing I ever smush my lips together about. I never smush my lips together when I'm doing splash liquid lipstick or lip gloss or anything else, just this. So this is the shade Affluent. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm actually going to use an eyeliner tonight called Prim to line my lips with. And when I'm doing a darker shade like this, I usually try to go in afterwards and just totally perfect it, especially with these lipsticks, because I have a little less control of them than I do with the wand. So Prim eyeliner. Just like a really pretty sort of dark brown. And then I'm actually going to take a little bit of, where did it go? A little bit of concealer. And I'm going to pop it right in the center to sort of like ombre it out. So this is a little of the Scarlet concealer that I used. And just press it in. And it's going to create that like lightness right in the middle, so that it looks just like a little different. But I love that sort of neutral glow that it gives you. It's hard to replicate with anything else other than concealer. We're going to make sure the brows are looking good. And there you have it. This would be super pretty for family pictures, for fall, for Thanksgiving, whatever. Like I said, I was practicing tonight because I'm doing my girlfriend's makeup on Sunday for her, Saturday for her family pictures for fall. And I wanted to make sure that I like tested the waters a little bit with the colors that I was thinking based on what she wants to wear. So this was my trial run, but I think I really love it. Now, if I was not going to be like getting ready to put sweatpants on and retire for the evening back to my computer, I would totally finish this with setting spray and just keep it on perfectly all night. But because it's pretty much just time to take it off, wash my face, put some sweatpants on, I'm not going to do that. But this product is literally your key to perfect makeup all day long. It's incredible. It seals your makeup in just like hairspray would seal your style in all day. And it's definitely something that you need to grab in the Flawless 4. I will take an unfiltered selfie and I will link all of the products that I used tonight on there so that if you have any questions with anything, but just keep in mind, if you wanted to grab the Flawless 4, if you needed all the products that are in it, which is primer, concealer, foundation, and setting product, it's $99, but only until like on the November 1st, we get the November kudos, and then this will be done. So if this is something that you're looking for, just let us know. Send me a message. I can color match you really easy. Again, tonight I used the spray foundation in the shade Lace. It's literally like a second skin, feels completely weightless, and it's like being airbrushed in real life. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back on Thursday, and I don't know if I'm going to do like a Halloween look or like a real look. I guess it depends what the weather's going to do, because right now Thursday looks like a complete washout here. So sad for those little kids. But anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye.